Alrighty, phase one of the BBQ Smoker thingamajackie. We've been around the local community, managed to pick up a few gas bottles. Those ones have all been purged out, tops removed and not filled with water yet, but those are for a later project. Then this one over here, disregard this one down here, that's an old one we did years ago, but this one is effectively the setup that we're going to go with. They've both been filled with water. That bottom one's had the top cut out of it, and this top one here is going to have the base of it cut out to marry into that, and the 9 kilo bottle, which is this one, will become the fire pit, and the large one there will eventually become the cooking component. So just draining the water out of those, or the top one, before I mark it up and cut it. Alrighty, so we're on to, we'll say day 2, but we already only had an hour at it last night, cutting out those holes that you saw me doing. So we're just about aligning the fire pit to the main cooking chamber. So fire pit here on the left, main cooking chamber here on the right. So we've cut out holes in, and now I'm just lining it up and seeing how we're actually going to weld this together. So there's a little bit of fine tuning. You see I've got some pencil lines there where we might have to cut some more out. But I don't want the firebox sitting up too high. I want to be able to have a good low firebox so the heat and smoke are transferring up there quite nicely. Rightio, we might have to do some more grinding and a bit of tacking to have a look at it, but that's the concept at this stage. Rightio, let's see how we go now. So we'll just ground that out, as you saw, and that is all of a sudden looking a whole lot better. So it's actually married up quite nicely there. We've just got this little gap in here we've still got to fix, but that sort of stuff requires a coffee to think about. It may be that we actually just cut a plate to fit in there. So we'll line it up a bit better, have a look at it and see what we get. So you can see there it's all pretty close. That little finger can only just get in there. Not too bad. By the time we do some fine tuning and adjustments there, that'll be a pretty nice fit. And in the back there as well. So we might sand it up a bit and then look at tacking it, I think. We've now got the firebox fitted, roughly, not tacked yet, to the cooking chamber. But before I actually weld this up, I want to mark out where the opening is going to be for the wood to go into, or your burning compound, whether it be charcoals and what have you. So a couple of things I've got to be mindful of is that the door has to lift up and clear the edge of this tank here. So I'm thinking that the door is going to be about the length of that pencil. Every man will tell you that's 6 inches, but yeah, so whatever that is, pretty much 6 inches, 150, so that's about right, 150 mil. And we'll fold it down to here, so the door will be flap up here. So I'm actually going to cut this door out first before we do the welding of this, and then I can actually have a look at the inside of the tank, because I've actually got quite a lip that comes through on this. So if I slide this out, you can see there's this much lip sitting in the firebox. So I just want to make sure that's not interfering with the fire too much, and if it is, now's the time to actually cut that out. So we can slide those back in place, like so. So yeah, to determine where this fire door is, we'll cut that in now. Okay, so this is the heat chamber that you've seen before, and as I just said, I'm now going to cut out the hatch for the where you'd put firewood in. So it's not a big hatch, but you're not going to put masses of pieces of wood in there, so it's about, I don't know, as wide as my hand. So we'll cut that out with the grinder. We've just had a bit of an intermission because we've been off teaching Sam how to do chainsawing, so that's good. And he is currently doing some chainsaw maintenance as part of his training and preparation for his volunteer fire service stuff that he's doing, which is making me pretty happy. So he's first time using the chainsaw today, but he's maintained it a couple of times, so he's cleaning it, and then he'll do some sharpening. Anyway, back to what I'm doing. That was fucking lucky. Amateur hour. Woo! Oh yeah. That was not good. Luckily we had the safety equipment on. Right, we better change the blade then. Notice how I've unplugged it, but the reason I have to do that is because I've got the attachment here that undoes the blades on the very end, and it's very hard when it's plugged in. So this means that whenever you want to change a blade, you've always actually got to unplug it. So good to see that the safety protocol's kicked in then, and we'll put a new blade on and bin this one. Fuck it, it's close. It's fair to say, oh shit man, these...
What happened?
The fucking saw caught and then kicked back. Yeah. And yeah, there's a hatch. Whoop, hello. Well, I was going to drill a pilot hole here, but upon reflection, I don't think I will. And in actual fact, what I'll do is I'll use the 4-inch grinder to actually cut the whole length here, and I might plasma cut these curve bits. You would have seen the video previously where I've just launched the grinder and potentially could have caused serious injury. So I think we'll grinder cut those out, and we might plasma cut those. Alrighty, so the bombs, as they've been now referred to, have hatches in them. Okay, so we're in the process. Make sure that's not too hot to touch. It's a little bit warm, so we'll put a glove on. So this is a door that you saw me cut out previously. What we're doing at the moment is welding these 20mm straps around the facing edge so that when the door's closed, it creates a seal. So we've stuck the bottom one on, just tack welded that in, created the side one, and we're doing the second side one now, but obviously we do need to shape it to bend around the radius of the tank. So the simple way of doing that is just basically sticking it in the vise, or you can clamp this to here. Like so, and just ease it over. I found it easier in the vise purely because I can actually get a better shape. So that's one way. So it's just a bit of trial and error between the vise and the piece you're working on. So basically I need to start the bend from where my thumb is, so I'll just bend that there. Basically that's the finger mark where I want it bent, just into the vise there, and just bend it over, create the shape. And I can actually do a few more while I'm here because I know sort of whereabouts we want them. So here we're looking just a little bit more at the end here. We're just making sure we've got an even spacing all the way around there. Not too bad. Okay, so throw a couple of tacks in there. Oh no! Yeah, I've done some idiotic things, but this will be a good one. Resting the welding machine down on the edge with the trigger being compressed and not hearing it, and we have actually spooled out a whole lot of wire. Never mind. Oh, that's one. Whee, that's on. Okay, that's still pretty warm, but we'll slide that in there. You can see how that lid sits on there now. Not bad. So that's the first one done. Obviously no hinges on it yet, but creates a nice little smoke seal around there. Once all that's ground up and tidied up, that'll be pretty good. So we need to do the same to the firebox here. Now I still haven't welded these two units together yet. I want to do that near the end. It just gives me the flexibility to get a bit more movement around these as I'm working on them. Alrighty then, so we have the two doors welded up, well, tack welded in with their seams that you can see. So this is the seam that runs round to basically seal those in. Now we've got to make up some hinges for both of those. The other thing I want to do before we tack these together is create the venturi system on the side there, and to put a chimney on this side. So those will be the next steps, and probably tomorrow morning. So signing off for now, and we'll see you in the morning.